Hello, I'm Peter Higginbotham, and welcome to my series, The Workhouse in 20 Objects. Today's object is this. It's the first annual report of the Poor Law Commissioners. The Poor Law Commissioners set up in 1834 to administer the new Poor Law that had come in that year in the form of the new Poor Law Amendment Act. And every year from that point on, the Poor Law Commissioners issued an annual report, packed full of facts, figures, tables, reports, and so on. The first one had a particular interesting section at the back, and that's where we're going to look today. What it contained were some model designs for new workhouses to help the new poor law unions erect a building for their indoor poor. And the buildings, for the most part, were designed by a young architect called Sampson Kempthorne. So let's take a look inside. And this is the first of Kempthorne's designs. And they're all based on this principle of central supervision. At the centre of the building, you've got this, what was called the hub. This is where the master and matron had their quarters. It's got windows all the way around, and from there you can keep a sort of bird's eye view on every square inch of the workhouse grounds. So coming out from the hub, I've got radiating outwards, we've got these inmates accommodation blocks, and at the front here we've got the entrance, which would have had a kind of porter's lodge on the ground floor. Around the outside, you've got these utility buildings, typically stores, workshops, bakehouse, mortuary, and so on. And we've also got the space between the wings carved up into exercise yards for the different groups of inmates. And we've got dividing walls cutting the space up in two. The walls typically sort of 7 or 8 feet high, so people in the adjacent yards can't communicate with each other. So if we turn over the page, we can see a bit more detail. And if we look at the labels, first thing you may be able to see is that the whole site is divided into a male half and a female half. We've got the males on the right and the females on the left. And within those, there are further subdivisions. At the bottom, we've got children, the boys and girls. Going up, we've got what we referred to as the first-class men. Those are the elderly and infirm. And at the top there, in that section, we've got the second-class men, which were the able-bodied men. Second class because they were able-bodied and ideally wouldn't be in the workhouse. They'd be outside holding down a job. The centre, we've got the master's parlour on the ground floor. Either side of that, we've got the male block and the women's block. And within those, on the ground floor, we've got primarily day rooms. At the bottom here, we've got the children's section. If I spin that round, you can see we've got the children's school and dining room. And next to that, we've got the main workhouse kitchen. At the front of the building, we've got the waiting hall, and to the side, the porter's lodge, and around the outside, these various utility rooms. If we go up to the floor above, then at the front, we've got the guardian's boardroom. Where the children were on the ground floor, we've now got the main workhouse dining hall and chapel. It's a dual purpose room, and that was a very common situation to use the chapel for both dining hall and chapel purposes. And you see all the little rows of seats lined up in there. Going further back in the building, we've got the master's quarters again at the centre, and in the male and female wings, we've got bedrooms, dormitories, and on the left-hand side here, you can just about see, I think, we've got a sort of infirmary for sick and infirm inmates. Round the outside, basically you can see rooftops of all the single-storey utility rooms. Over the page, we've got the sort of second floor, pretty much the same as the first floor, with dormitories and so on. But we've got another variation that Kempthorne produced, a four-wing version, but in other respects very, very similar. It's got the central hub again, the entrance block, and so on. And you really just get obviously a bit more accommodation if you've got four wings rather than three wings. Kempthorne's designs proved very popular, and quite a number were built, either designed by Kempthorne himself or by other architects based on his model designs. And quite a few of these buildings survive, so if you know where to look, you can go and sort of see his designs turned into bricks and mortar.
So just a couple of examples to show you. First of all, Warminster in Wiltshire. Here we've got a view of the whole building. We've got the entrance block on the left, and you can just see the Y-shaped main building behind. And we can go and get a different view of the Y-shaped section here. You see the wings with the hub in the middle, and we've even got the garden fence that's there now is more or less where the original wall would have been between the two yards. And the second one is the Eton Union Workhouse in Slough. Again, we've got the entrance block at the front, where the Porter's Lodge and Hodgins boardroom would have been, and a view round the back. Again, we can see the hub, and this is a square design, so we've got two of the wings at right angles to each other, joining the hub in the middle. And you can see the windows in the hub. I've got a view over the whole yard area.
Well, that's it for today. So I hope you'll join me soon for another in the series, The Workhouse in 20 Objects.